Hello, fiendish tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy 1, don't mind the music, with me, BlueAnkylo. Dawn of Souls, Solo Warrior Challenge, you know the drill by now, hopefully. We are very well equipped and kind of pimped out to a degree. And we've got 3 more crystals there, you can see that we need to lighten to save the world, or so they say. So what we'll do to start with is head to the Gurgu, or Mount Golg, Gurgu Volcano, I believe was the original name anyway. And yes, your ears do not deceive you. I have decided to expand the soundtrack for the Let's Play to include the Final Fantasy II Dawn of Souls soundtrack as well, basically. It's just mixed in together. I like both soundtracks quite a lot, and I thought a little bit more variety would probably be worth it. Even though it doesn't quite match the game. But, you know, we've been playing for a fair while. We've probably heard each track a good number of times by now. So you know the drill. Anyway, welcome to the Volcano. We are, of course, slightly burning to death as we walk through that fire. But because there's nothing really in here that we need to get, we don't really need to spend very much time because there's no items that are worth picking up. There's like an ice sword and a fire armor or flame armor. There's a fire shield somewhere. Some money, you know. And the enemies are all kind of weak, even for our basic level at this point. So, you know, it's probably not going to take very long before we're done the dungeon. I mean, you know, I barely had time to explain what I was doing, and as the Minotaurs flee, we run into Carrie. Sorry, spoiler alert. Let's just save it anyway, just to be smart, but yeah. So, Fiends number 1, before the first song is even over. Pretty good deal. I suppose I maybe should switch to some boss music. So let's see what Final Fantasy II has for some boss music. You know, this seems fitting for the Merilith. That's good. Okay, so seeing as this is the first boss I think we've really had access to, like, buffing type spells. Let's at least use one. Let's use Blink to get some evasion. Honestly, Merilith is not going to be that dangerous, but we may as well make sure we avoid most of her physical hits. So that's not going to be a problem. Unfortunately, we don't really have any way to increase our attack power. I don't think any of these weapons, like the spells, will do any significant amount of damage to her compared to our melee attack. And we don't have anything that buffs ourselves, like, say, the Giant's Gauntlets, which would be pretty amazing if you could find something that casts Saber on yourself, if you know that spell. Anyway, none of that's really in this. We don't have any access to that kind of stuff, so all we can do, for now, is attack. Luckily, we're immune to basically all status ailments. We could also look at our magic. Technically, we could buff our defense. The funny thing is, it doesn't really matter. Like, our defense is high enough and our evasion is ridiculous, so it doesn't really change much. I guess you could try to silence her. Or, I don't even know if that would work. Bosses tend to be immune to most statuses, so it just, you know, it's kind of silly. Anyway, let's just deal with her, right? Oh, 3 hits and she's dead. Well, that's what you get for messing with the Excalibur, yo. So, considerably simpler than the Lich fight. But we did wait to come here till we had all the superpowered weapons, so fair's fair. Alright, one more Fiend slain. Just speed through some of this cutscene. And teleport. And next up, we're coming for you, Kraken. Coming for you. Might not be the correct sound for the Kraken. Alright, here we go. Should have gone diagonally the other direction. It probably would have been faster. Hey, my Ankylo friend. Sorry, now we're so strong we can kill you in 1 hit. Darn. Alright, and on Rack, the town I always forget the name of. Stock up on high potions. You can actually buy remedies. Not like it's really any better. It cures... What would it cure? Poison? Probably paralyze. I guess an in-battle item that cures paralyze would be actually not a bad idea for... Compared to, like, the original where there was no such item. That's okay. But, like, poison antidotes are so cheap, and it seems kind of silly to have a cure-all when there's so few status effects. But it's all good. I guess it probably would cure darkness if you cared. Okay, so let's head the other direction down the underwater temple, or the Sunken Temple. Shrunken Shrine. Good start. But yeah. We've been here before. You've seen about the worst this dungeon can offer. So we probably don't have too much to worry about. Oh look, there's some more ghosts. I think they're slightly less common on floor... What was that? Was it 4-4? Whatever floor we were on, the way towards the mermaid level seems to have more ghosts than the other direction down to the Kraken, in my opinion. Although, I could be completely wrong. I just feel like I run into ghosts way more often on the way to the mermaids. I'm probably just crazy. I you know, survivor bias. I also headed to the mermaids more often and died on the way there than, you know, they go down to fight the Kraken the once, usually. Alright, so this is the floor with the ribbon on it. There's just one room that we should check. It's, of course, right in front of me. Oh, here we go. Okay, well, let's evade up a little bit here. I really should sort my items one of these days. But yeah, these ghosts definitely... Hey, it's... Well, Chaos Temple's good music. I was thinking it was almost the Underwater Temple music. But yeah, the Defender is just so good that even the overpowered ghost attacks can't really hit us much, so... I like to see my damaging... My attack values are getting pretty close to 1,000 damage, which is pretty sweet. So there's... Usually the second ribbon, and then the third one would be up in the floating fortress, but it's all good. There's only 3, sadly. Unless you go to a bonus dungeon and get the 4th one, then everyone gets a ribbon. But yeah, by default there's only 3, and I guess I just like picking it up even though I didn't need it. Alright, let's just speed this up. We did the volcano so quickly. Why am I messing around here, right? I'm still gonna double defense up. Just because of... well, you know, there's a chance that the ghosts would be able to kill me with a bunch of lucky hits. And I don't like the sound of that. Alright, so... Left, and then up. I guess we should keep killing things for the XP. It's not like they can really hurt us. 5,000, was that 5,000 experience? That's pretty good. The Shark Big Eye combo is probably the best for getting experience really quickly, I feel. When there's 9 targets and you don't have access to Nuke or Lightning 3, it takes a lot longer. Or trying to flee, you waste all your time. Whoa! This is the going underwater music. Like the game knows the song I want to hear. The game, you know, the VLC, the media player game. And we're there. Alright, so heal up. And let's see, Fiend number 3. I guess I should get the music going again, hey? We saved. Let's go for another boss fight. It's the Kraken. With a cool robe, of course. He's very posh. So, of course, let's start with the defense. Now, if I remember correctly, the Kraken is one of the very few enemies that has such a high accuracy, you actually need to use defense 3 times to basically guarantee perfect evasion. Other than crits. Crits ignore, so, you know. A critical, just like rolling a 20 in a Dungeons & Dragons game, criticals don't care about your, I'll also protect a couple times. Although, it's quite possible that the crits will also ignore your defense stat. That's how it was in the old days, so that if you got max evasion, buffing up your defenses was actually pointless because they didn't you know, anything that could hit you would be a crit, and the crit ignored your defense anyway, so. So you can see the Kraken definitely has more defense than the Merilith did, but still not enough to hold up against the Excalibur. And that's another crystal done. 3 down, 1 to go. Oh, in case you're wondering, sometimes the like that little symbol here should be flickering. If I hold super speed, you can see it flickering. At normal speed, I think I'm playing at just the right frame rate, so you're only seeing the odd frame where it's shown. It should be like invisible 1 frame, visible the 2nd frame, but we're playing it on just the right speed that we're only showing it at 1 phase. So I can kind of turn it invisible or always a solid image, but it doesn't flicker like it's supposed to. Just in case you've been wondering about that through the Let's Play. Hopefully you don't mind. There's only a couple little things like that. The shadow for the airship follows the same kind of trick. It only happens on sprites that basically flicker on and off on a pattern that gets hit by the current frame rate. Okay, so only 1 place to go. I would say that Final Fantasy II actually has quite an underrated soundtrack. It might not be quite as iconic as 1 for people who grew up playing 1, because Final Fantasy II wasn't as popular in North America. But it's also like really good. I quite enjoy the 2nd game soundtrack. It's I don't know what else to say. It's quite good. I like how it expands upon some of the basic Final Fantasy sort of starting themes and then sort of goes a little bit further with more advanced sort of progressions, I guess, let's say. Without trying to sound like a music snob. Let's not do that. Let's not get into Music History Week and I don't know. Let's just stop there. Let's not go any further. Alright, so anyway, we gotta climb the Mirage Tower. That's what we're... Let's talk about the video game. That's the important part. We're fighting some robots that are lasering us fairly ineffectively, let's say. Although, for whatever reason, we're not very good at running away from robots. Oh man, hellhounds. Alright, let's just... Instead of running away, which gets us nothing and wastes a lot of time, let's just go super speed and kill everything. And at least we'll get level ups. And it probably won't take much longer anyway, so... There you go. Ooh, I saw 1194 damage. 1030. So we've definitely cracked, for maybe lower defense enemies, we've cracked into over 1000 damage territory. Always a good time, right? I'm pretty sure there's actually no damage cap in this. Or not that you can hit anyway. You might think the game would be like Final Fantasy 4 or 6 or 7, 8, 9, or 5, or all of the other ones that cap at 9999, just at 1 point under 10,000. The remake for Final Fantasy 1 does not, and I have indeed done 12,000 damage in a single attack. So, I don't know what my max is. I think I've hit 12 or 13,000. It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. But I had to test out if you could actually hit the 4-9 barrier. So maybe one day we'll show that off. Don't think I could do it as a solo fighter, though. Maybe. It's probably easier with a level 99 monk with all of the speed buffs and damage buffs spells you can get. Alright, so we didn't really explore this floor of the floating fortress. There's some katana, protect cape. That's about all that really matters. Oh, good! Now, I just want to point out, these guys used to be called man-cats. There was Catman and man-cats. Now they're called Rakshasha, or however you pronounce it. And I really love that it's another little nod to Final Fantasy I's origins being Dungeons and Dragons, essentially. Rakshasa are devils, or demons, one or the other, that are very, sort of, I'd say fairly iconic Dungeons and Dragons monsters. They look more like a man with a lion's face, and backwards hands, I think is the thing. Anyway, it's just neat that because the game itself was based very firmly in old Dungeons & Dragons rules, as well as lore for quite a lot of enemies. Even though the translation into English definitely gave them totally random names. I like the little sort of nods like that, basically, right? Alright, so unless I've gotten myself lost here, we should be done with the endless corridor, whatever you call this floor. It's annoying. Endless random encounters, that's for sure. There's a teleporter. I always go 2 right, 2 up. You could also go 2 any direction, and then 2... Like, as long as you turn 90 degrees after 2 steps, you'll always get there, so it's pretty easy. Alright, so let's be smart about things. Theoretically, this is the first floor with an enemy since we got the ribbon that could kill us. So let's be smart. No luck today. What about random encounter number 2? No luck either. We may as well kill them because they're like Astos' friends. Make sure they're dead. But, nope, straight to the boss. Okay. Again, we'll save it. I don't think we'll need anything, but this is the strongest of the 4 fiends. Tiamat, the mighty dragon of the sky. They even got that right, where Bahamut is a friendly dragon, and Tiamat is an evil dragon. That's very Dungeons & Dragons as well. So let's say, let's do the same trick as before. Defense it up a little bit, if I can remember where I put it. 4 hits for 12 damage. You know, this is not that important on a warrior knight that has so much physical defense anyway. Like, Tiamat doesn't hit too hard at this point. But a couple blinks and we should be fine. Unfortunately, our damage dealing continues to decrease in terms of the enemy's absorption rate. And she's using some spells on us this time around. I would strongly recommend having the Excalibur before you do this fight. I know you can kill her with the Sun Sword, but it's a lot easier with the Excalibur. We're probably doing like, I don't know if it's twice as much damage, but at least like 50% more just because of the way the enemy absorb defense stats work. Alright, so we got ourselves a victory, and the final crystal is ours. I don't know what those ninjas are doing pretending that they're alive. And that's the last bonus dungeon as well. Alright, now, as I almost always do, I will at least give it a small attempt to see if we can run into our super friend. We'll do like 10 random encounters, just to see what happens. That's a negative. So, 9 more. I will kill these at least, because it's probably about the same as running. 8 more fights. Flee the big battles, kill the easy battles. What am I down to? 7 more fights? I probably lost count. We'll say 6 more fights. Come on, give me that 1 in 100. 5 more fights after this. We're not going to grind forever, but I want to try to show him off. I never get lucky. Like, when I want to see him, he never shows up. And then when you're afraid of him, he shows up and kills you. I think we're down to like 3 left or so. We'll do 2 more after this. And getting the level ups don't hurt anyway. Alright, well, we'll kill some flans if we can. Oh, wow. They have a lot of defense. Oh, you know what we should probably do? If they have a lot of defense, I bet you they're weak to some element. Ice, maybe? Eh, not great. What about, like, fire? Oops. Unfortunately, the Sunblade doesn't emit sun rays. As cool as that would be. Oh, yeah, they're totally weak to fire. Okay. What am I at? 2 more? 1 more? I don't know. 2 more, and then 1 more. Hey! The very last fight. So, War Mech / Death Machine / oh my god, I have no HP, we're dead. This is bad. Well, first off, I'm gonna have to throw on some defense, because if he does a physical attack, I need to not get hit and killed. If he does his special attack, there's nothing I can do. That was his physical. Oh, man. I think we're dead. 327 damage. Well, hey, at least you got to see him. He does give like 32,000 experience or something. We'd probably get like 2 level ups off of him. Anyway, that's the war mech. It's not like he's impossible. It's just very hard on a solo challenge where you're not topping up your HP, and by the time you get into his fight with him, you basically are already dead. Classic. Anyway, at least we got to show him off. That's what I wanted. Okay, so we're only 19 minutes in. Not bad. Let's go pick up a Mazmune. Now that we've got a full suite of crystals, that is to say. Actually, first up, let's go sell some junk so that, if I'm in a big boss fight, you guys don't want me messing around trying to find the right item to use, right? Let's clean this up. We probably could have tried the worm killer on Tiamat. That would have been funny. I'm never going to use Scourge or Poison Gas. I'm going to use Defender. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use that. The Light Axe, I'm not going to use. Fire, Ice, Lightning are better in my books. I'm also not going to use Invisora. It's only worth 1 gil. Alright, sell the junk. The ultra unique items that you can never get a copy of. Look at all this stuff. Let's just junk it. Ribbons, diamond helms, diamond gloves. I don't really need the gauntlet as long as I have the Thor's hammer. There's no point having 2 Thunderas. Let's just junk it. And heal, it just doesn't matter. It's not going to heal us enough. You can have it. Also, there's a second one somewhere anyway, if I really want it back. Alright, we also don't need antidotes anymore. Nor do we really need tents. Really, even the cottages are kind of a waste of inventory. Alright, and also, I'm going to get rid of the potions, because they bug me now, they don't heal enough. Alright. So the only other thing left, I suppose, is to stock up on high potions. Might as well have the full stack. Alright, we're good to go. Level 70. Well, the truth is, even if we make it down to Chaos today, we're probably not able to kill him. There's some key features we're missing, and I should probably actually gone to the inn first here. There's a couple key things that we don't have that are going to prevent us from killing him. But we will give it a try, maybe. We'll see how far we get today. I'm not really, well, you know what? We go pretty quick. I bet you we can still make it down to the bottom floor today without too much trouble. One of the neat things, and the reason I'm willing to do this, is in the remake, specifically, you no longer require a white or black wizard to escape the time loop 2,000 years back. You can just walk back. As long as you can get back to this teleporter, you can go back to your regular time. As long as you can make it here, anyway. But yeah, the exit spell would be more convenient. But we don't need it anymore. So the goal here is, assuming I don't get killed, which is a bit of an assumption, to make it to the Mazmune, pick it up, try out fighting Chaos once or twice, and then we'll talk about what I'm going to need to kill him and how I'm going to try to get there. And we'll maybe cover that next episode, the trying to get there part. Alright, a lot of white dragons. I mean, these guys are kind of rude, but I guess they give a lot of experience, so... 6,800 XP is pretty good for a fight. The truth is, we probably also will need to be, like, level 99. I would like to get to Chaos before I'm level 99, but, I have a feeling we'll need every little point of damage we can get. Green Dragon, I mean. They were really bad in the NES version. A group of 4 of those, if they got an ambush on you, almost always would kill your black mage or your white mage before they even got a turn. You know, if I still had that Scourge, the sword that did insta-death, this is the kind of time you might try it out. Alright, we got a little mini-boss coming up here. It's really dangerous. Watch out. Yeah, about as good as the Eye, anyway. The Phantom, I think, has some pretty powerful spells, but, whatever. He actually has a lot of Absorb as well, to be fair. If you're not playing as a warrior knight guy, he can be kind of tanky. I know a solo thief run, he can be a problem. Not so much if you're a ninja, but if you're playing as a thief, like a solo thief with no promotions, if you know, you don't, like the hardest challenge in NES is solo thief, no promotion. It's ridiculous. You thought killing Astos was hard. Imagine killing Kraken with nothing but the rune blade. Because the thief doesn't get to equip good weapons. Hey, purple worms! That's another Dungeons & Dragons enemy. They were just called worms in the NES version, but I think they're still the best XP enemy in the game. A group of 4 is 16,000. Well, I mean, the worm mech gives you more, but best in terms of they're pretty easy to kill and give amazing XP for a relatively easy fight. And I say relatively easy. They do hit pretty hard. At least they don't swallow you whole. Right? Right? A lot of white dragons. This has been the most dragon-heavy run I've seen, like, possibly ever. Still got 86 high potions, no problem. Getting all that XP. Alright, now we're down into the sort of elemental floors. First 2 are pretty easy anyway. Oops. I'm just gonna run from the Medusas. We've got places to go, people to see, enemies to kill. Alright, so just like a 4-green dragon fight was really dangerous for your low HP characters, this square is very dangerous. Not this square, sorry. This square is very dangerous. It's Lich 2.0! And he always starts with Nuke or Flare. But that's the only attack he's got that's going to be very dangerous to us. And I'm hoping we can just rush him down here fairly easily. Stop! That's the Time Elemental spell, I think. Okay, I haven't seen that animation in a very long time. He's got all the level 8 magic, basically, which is kind of crazy. I sure hope you brought Protect Rings. Anyway, there you go. Lich down. One thing that I want to point out, if you were following my randomized challenges on the NES version, south of here is actually a couple treasure chests that I always forget about. It's actually, if we went and picked it up, it's actually the second katana, which I always like blot out of my mind, because at this point in the game, especially with my lack of ever bringing thieves, it's just never worth my time to go down there. But there are in fact chests with pretty rare items in them, honestly. And in a randomized run, it could be anything. Could be anything. Alright. Dragons, or giants and lizards, nothing too scary. I mean, I've often go from this tile, if you go south here, or maybe they're both here, but anyway, south and right here. Actually, it might be on the left side where the katana is. That's probably what I meant. But this chest is one that I do pick up semi-regularly, because it's the second Protect Cape or Protect Cloak, and if you've got a white and a black wizard, it's nice to have 2, so that each can have one. Unfortunately for us, they're not going to help. They would go in the shield slot, right? Yeah. Not as good as Aegis Shield, just better than anything else a wizard could equip there. Okay, fight number 2. The Merilith round 2.0. So she does physically hit fairly hard. Elemental magic's not the big problem. I should have defended up, but I'm feeling lucky. I think we got this. Come on, Baron, the lucky knight that survived. Alright, we killed her without having to evade up. That's good. It's a good sign, right? Second easiest done. In fact, some might say that that's the easiest fiend because she doesn't have nuke. And with no nuke, does she have any magic at all? She's got a couple spells, Firaga and maybe Hold or something. But nothing terrible like instant death, kill everyone spells. Now this is a difficult battle. I don't think you can run from it. Although I'm not 100% on that. Usually you can't run from the water elements. But even if you could run, it's still a pretty strong fight. I'm gonna evade up here because Water elementals do a lot of damage if they get sort of stacking in those hits. Yeah, even with 1 defense, they still chip in. These are, assuming you cannot run, these are the kind of fights that basically end solo challenges with low defense characters. Like, if you're doing it with a thief that's not a ninja that has no absorb, you're basically dead as soon as you get this fight. And it's pretty bad for, like, red wizards and black wizards and all them. Any wizards, basically. I guess, you know, if you can survive long enough to get your double blink on or your double ruse, then it's not so bad, but a lot of the squishy characters, you know, basically killed in 1 round. Anyway, I think I got like over 14,000 experience there, so that was probably worth it. Holy smokes, the groups! Look at the size of that. Also, did you notice? All those level ups? They're starting to work. We used to only do like 80 or 90 damage. How is our intelligence? It's almost twice as high as the last time I checked. It's just nice to see the spells scaling like they're supposed to, even on a night. Actually, you know what I should test? I want to see, before we're in a boss fight, how much Kira will heal. 126, still less than a high potion, sadly. So, not really that valuable. Oh. You know what? That's pretty good. I gotta say, the damage output on that Lightning 2 spell is getting okay. It's never gonna be Black Wizard level, but that's not bad. Alright, we'll save, and somewhere over here, like 5 steps over, our next boss. Okay, this time we're definitely going to defender it up, because the Kraken with a good critical hit can still basically, well, I don't think I've ever seen him do more than like 500 or 600 damage, but he can still do 500 or 600 damage. And again, I'll probably go with the triple just to be doubly safe. And I'll try to keep my HP over 800 or so, just in case. But otherwise, his magic's pretty weak, and it's just basically punch him down till he dies. You know, the Squid Inks, the Thunderas, they're not gonna win. What would be really scary is if he had the fast spell, and then he could buff himself and get 16 attacks. That, oh man, that would be ridiculous. Or Saber. If Kraken had Saber and Fast, he'd be like almost, that'd be too much, man. That'd be too much, man. Yeah, we take a little bit of damage, but he's not getting very lucky on his attacks, so this should be fine. The 2.0 version of the Fiends are definitely stronger than the originals, if you haven't gathered. But not enough to cause too much trouble. Alright, let's go pick up our special... Can we run from air elementals? I always forget. Yeah, it's fire, earth, and water that you can basically never run from. But for some reason, air you can just escape. Although I will pretty much always kill the purple worms for the experience. Yeah, I should probably kill the vampires. They're pretty good for XP too. Oh right, I did learn last time that the mage staff wasn't the most efficient way to kill them. You know what? Let's use some cure magic to heal. We've got all that MP. Let's turn it into HP. Stone golems. They're only annoying if you don't have the ribbon. Slow element is slow status is pretty bad. Let's actually kill these guys. I feel like the air elementals are usually not quite as dangerous as the water elementals. Their gimmick is evasiveness, so they're kind of hard to hit, except that by the time you fight them, you're probably getting 8 attacks per round, in which case it's not that big a deal if you miss 1 or 2. And we're not even missing 1 or 2 anyway, because, well, I mean, I don't know the exact math, but we do have 255 accuracy, which is, you know, pretty good. And there you go, the Masamune. The Masamune? I don't know, don't look at me. There's the Mazmune. No Massa at all in the original. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. It's up there, let's say. Now, technically, The Excalibur might do bonus damage to enemies weak to elements, or even holy element traditionally. And the Mazmune is just non-elemental. But straight up plus 11 base damage is pretty big in this game. You know, you might think it's only like a 10% or 15% upgrade in damage potential, but it's more than that in practice, because think of it like, if, say an enemy has 50 absorb, and they get more than that, if we used to do 70 damage, or 74 or whatever it was, it'd be 74 minus 50, and then there's some randomness, of course, but just pretend that was an average damage hit. So we do 24 damage times 8 attacks, something like that. The criticals would do extra, they'd avoid the absorb. There's more math, but think of it like 76 minus 50 is 26 times 8 is, you know, 200. Going from 76 to 85, now instead we're doing 85 minus 50, which is 35 times 8, which is almost twice as much. Instead of 200, we're doing like 350. It's complicated, and I'm obviously like super simplifying the way the calculations work. There's lots of random values, but that's why really stacking that attack stat is so valuable. As you get higher than your enemy absorb, and the number of attacks, like with a large number of attacks, especially if you can go fast and get double that, just a little bit more damage to beat out that absorb rate is really, really good. Alright, let's heal up. I know I'm kind of rambling, but let's heal up. Save the game, and fight Tiamat for the second time this episode. I'll still defend her up a couple times. May as well. Tiamat, of course, famously known for being weak to poison, or at least not immune to poison specifically. So you can kill her with the poison gas attack if you really stick to your guns. The first one, I think, is actually weak to it. The 2.0 version is just not actually weak to the element, but just not immune, basically. So it still has to get through her magic defense, which is quite high, but it does have a chance compared to basically every other status element, which will never do anything, as is usually the case. There's a couple odd exceptions. The Merilith, or Carrie, actually can be feared, and she can run away. It's very rare. Again, it doesn't happen very often, but technically she's not immune to the fear sort of morale debuff status effect. So once in a blue moon, you can force Merilith to flee your party, which is kind of hilarious, but it's pretty hard. I would not recommend that unless you're really patient. Alright, here we go. Unless I get in a battle. Yeah, of course. Preemptive strike? I'll take that. Do we kill them all before they get a turn? Not quite. You know, that's not bad. The Mage Staff, I'm glad I picked it up. I almost skipped everything in the Water Shrine, but that Mage Staff was a good catch. Good catch. Okay, so I better remember to save it. Now, you might be thinking, Blue, if you save it here, you're stuck forever. Well, remember, we can just walk all the way back, fight the 4 fiends in reverse order again, and I'm sure we've got enough healing potions to go the other direction. And because we have the Mazmune, it'll be easier to kill everything on the way back than it was on the way up. So it actually is a bit easier. Plus we're 15 levels higher, and we have not used half of our high potions. So we can definitely make it back, so don't worry too much about that save. Oh, I suppose we should top out first. But we're just going to do a quick test fight here. I wouldn't get my hopes up, because Chaos in Dawn of Souls, I guess I should play his theme here, is very, very hard for a solo challenge. This is, in fact, the biggest, in my opinion, just with my understanding, this is the most likely... Sorry, where's my battle? Where's my music? Last battle. Alright. This is, in my opinion, the biggest bottleneck for any solo challenge. As much as there's difficult parts on the way here, the Dawn of Souls remake makes most of that easier. You level up quicker, the thieves are less bad, the magic spells scale with your intellect, so the late game black mages have a bit easier time, I would expect. Except against Chaos. No longer does he have 2000 HP and will die in well, 4 or 5 hits from a leveled up knight. Oh, no, no. That is not the case. He still has his traditional every element super spell that's basically stronger than a level 3 fire, ice, lightning. They're all pretty scary. I guess we should just be happy that they're basically all elemental. So as long as you have a ribbon, you're only taking half damage. So that's nice. I'm assuming Tsunami is probably ice element. Like, there's no water element specifically. I think it was called Swirl in the original. But anyway. So unfortunately, other than buffing with Blink, I don't really have a lot of other... Well, this is lucky. We got a Mega Elixir from something. That's cool. Actually, I could have picked up an Elixir. You know those chests back beside the Phantom? I forgot, but they used to just be money. In the remake, they actually have some pretty high, like, pretty awesome items to use. So, technically, we've got that. The problem is we need to kill him. And, we're immune to most of his attacks, or, like, we're immune to the statuses. But he does do pretty consistently 100 to 200 damage, or averaging somewhere around there. Ooh, he still hit me. That must have been a crit. Let's defense up again while I'm... Oh, he's actually not missing at all. Alright. Let's defense up twice more. I don't know how much you need in this version. Anyway, there's the Curaja. That's what I was waiting for. So now that he's at full HP, he does that as his, like, 8th spell or 9th spell or something. That's also very bad. But now, you know, our goal would be to kill him before he uses it again. And the problem is, for one, we're not really doing a ton of damage, and he's got a lot more HP than you'd expect. And for two, he does generally dish out pretty consistent damage, such that we will have to heal fairly often before we can finish him. Like, we can drop down to maybe 300 or 400. Oh good, it played another boss music right in a row. That wasn't even me. I mean, maybe we'll get lucky and kill him here, but I don't think we're going to come close to his actual HP max. And I have to heal. Now, if I used high potions, it would take me like 6 or 7 rounds to actually fully heal. He would spend so much time rotating through his spells that he would probably get back to Curaja. So we don't really have the turns to waste, because he's always going to get back to his full heal. So this is why you need something that can heal you to full. And I only had the one, which is not probably going to be enough. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky. I don't know. There's not much other strategy I can do here other than what I'm doing right now. Getting those 550 damage hits in, though, I like that. That's about enough damage on average, I think, if you can average a little over 500. We're probably not averaging 500, though. And unfortunately, with no more full heals, as soon as I take a couple more big hits, I'm going to have to stop. Or slow down my attack, basically. Another 500 damage. Okay, probably going to have to start healing up now. I suppose it's worth trying Cura, just to see if it heals a little bit more than a high potion. Ooh, this might even kill me if he gets really lucky. I don't know. Not quite. But yeah, you can see that... Oh, that's really bad. Yeah. I'm kind of in a position where I have to heal, and he has to not deal damage before I can attack him. And it was too slow, so he got it in. So basically, we're stuck in a situation where we're never able to kill him. Really, unless you got ridiculously lucky. He's always going to bring you down from 999 to low enough that you have to use some high potions. And by the time you heal up and get some more attacks in, he's going to Curaja again. And he's got... I forget the exact number, but I don't think I got close enough. So, essentially, we lose. Now, I will, just for fun, we'll just die here. Go to the main screen. I think... no, not the main screen. The Bestiary for Final Fantasy 1, because surely I've beaten him in the past on a different file. Let's see if I've got a mount down here. Ignore all those super other enemies. We don't really do... Oh, it's not here. Did I guess it didn't save after we killed him? That's weird. What about the other save file? Oh, that's not far enough. I wonder if file 1 remembers... No, I was thinking like maybe it remembered the fight before it. you know, you could look it up. If Tiamat has 5,500, I'd be willing to bet Chaos has like 10,000. And I really don't think we got that close. Now, interestingly, if we farmed Tiamat long enough, we could get a Rune Staff. And I think Rune Staffs have a pretty awesome on-use spell. The drop rates are pretty low, but theoretically that would actually make things easier. And you could probably look through, like, Emergency Exit is the same as the exit spell, so that's a nice thing to farm some purple worms and just have a quick escape. Elixirs, I definitely need more. Like, if I had a bunch of elixirs, I could probably kill Chaos. Hermes Shoes is actually what I really need. That would double my attacks. So that's essentially the reason I'm showing this off before I end the episode. I need to get at least one Hermes Shoes from some form or the other. And I need at least a couple elixirs or X potions so that we can actually heal up a couple times before he Kirajas. It's possible there are some other weapon drops that might be worth it. Deathbringer might be better than the Mazmute. I don't remember. Same with some of these other weapons. So that was Kraken 1. Unfortunately, Kraken number 2, the one we can farm, is this one, and it just drops eye drops. So unfortunately, any bosses that are one time only, you've only got the one shot at it. I'm just gonna skim for any, like, you can actually fight a lot of dragon zombies. So this might be an easy way to try to get a Mega Elixir. I don't know the drop rates, but if you go back to the Castle of Ordeals, you could just fight them forever. Is there anything else that might be worthwhile talking about? Red curtains are like Null Blaze. Ice shields from those guys, that's neat. Golden apples, it's like maximum HP up, which doesn't matter, we're capped. Just looking for anything that might be unique. X potions, for my purposes, that's as good as an elixir, because I just need the max HP healing. Power Plus, that'd be interesting. That would increase our strength, I believe, and a little bit more damage would definitely help. Mithril Sword, yeah, random drop from Astos, that's pretty cool, right? Spider Silk is slow, but it'll never work in this game because it's a status the bosses are immune to. Great in Final Fantasy IV. And we're pretty much at the beginning of the game. Longsword from Garland. A couple junk items. So yeah, unfortunately, not a lot of drops other than maybe that Rune Staff would make much difference for weapons. Just to show it off, because we're going to end the episode here in a second. If you go to the bonus dungeons and fight some of the other secret enemies, you would unlock both treasure chests that have these things, and also enemies that drop even more ridiculously cool stuff. I just want to see if there's anything in here that I would be worth mentioning. Sage's Staff, I can't remember the name, but there is a staff that casts Nuke on use. It might be that one, but I don't remember for sure. Enhancer is not as good as you would hope. You can see all the alternate version of the bonus enemies in here. Lightbringer, that would be pretty good. That would be stronger than the Mazmune if I remember correctly. I think the Rune Staff is... Maybe the Rune Staff is the one that casts Nuke. There's Genji Armor, of course. Oh no, Judgment Staff. That's totally the one with Nuke. Rune might be holy, actually, then. There's Ragnarok. Yeah. So, I just want to point out, Shinra is probably the hardest optional boss. And I don't think we can kill it with a solo fighter. I know I was able to do it with a 4-fighter party, but it was so hard. Like, that was ridiculously difficult. Where was I? Oh boy. Okay, we got past Orthos and Typhon. So yeah, Atmos, not so bad. Shinra, terribly hard fight. And Omega, just about as hard in a different way, but Shinru's worse because he has a larger damage all attack, basically. And I killed him 3 times to get 3 Ragnaraks. Yeah, we got Genji gloves. Yeah, there's some of this stuff, like, I might be able to kill a Rubicon solo and get that kind of weapon. It's possible some of these enemies that are not Omega Weapon or Shinra might be soloable. I haven't really thought about it. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to go down here and try it out. The reason I'm here is I wanted to test out, I wanted to have a look at what the drops were. I just wanted to see if there's anything really interesting. Also, there's lots of treasure chests, but I'm going to try to power up my warrior without going to the bonus dungeons and see if we can kill Chaos solo legitimately, which I know is possible, but it might take a bit of work. I actually consider using the Hermes sandals almost cheating because it's not really a vanilla item, but there's no other way to kill a super buffed Chaos solo. I don't think it's possible without some of the extra Dawn of Soul items. So anyway, I'm probably going to do a little bit of grinding off camera. I'll get to level 99, because that will only take a few minutes, and I will try to get some random drops. I need to fight some wizard vampires for Hermes sandals. I really only need one, so that shouldn't take too long. And then I've got to find someone that'll drop X potions or elixirs, and hopefully I can get a couple. Either that or I have to go to the bonus dungeons. Anyway, I'll tell you what happened next episode when we get started and we try to fight Chaos. Wow, that's not going to be a very long episode if that's all that happens. We'll see. I'll figure it out. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Good luck. Wish me luck. I need luck. Please luck.